She took one last photo, a photo no one was ever meant to see. And somewhere in that frame, someone was watching her back. When the police found the camera floating in the Thames, its lens cracked, the red light still blinking, Emma Linton was already gone. London, a city of rain, fog, and silence. But sometimes, silence hides the loudest scream. Who Emma was. Emma Linton was 24, a photographer who believed every alleyway held a story. She lived in a flat above a bakery in Camden, spent her days freelancing for travel magazines, and her nights capturing neon reflections in puddles. Friends said she was fearless, the kind who would walk through fog at midnight just to photograph the glow of a single streetlight. Her diary entries, later found on her desk, read, "I don't take pictures of people. I take pictures of the moments they leave behind." That line would haunt investigators for years. On the evening of November 8, 2002, Emma texted her friend Hannah, heading out for a late shoot. Be back by 10. She packed her Nikon camera, a thermos of coffee, and vanished into the mist. But Emma wasn't just another young artist. She had ambition, stubborn, almost obsessive. Neighbors remembered her lugging camera bags down the stairs at midnight, whispering light waits for no one. She shot old phone booths, the backs of taxis, the glow of a lamppost reflecting in puddles like melted gold. To some, it was art. To others, it was strange. But to Emma, it was everything. That autumn, she'd been meeting new clients, unknown names who contacted her online, asking for private street photography, paid in cash. It was risky work, but she told Hannah, sometimes the best stories start with the wrong people. Those words would echo through the investigation. At 8:43 p.m., CCTV shows Emma leaving her flat, hood pulled up, camera around her neck. She walks through Camden Market, past shuttered shops, food stalls steaming in the cold. The city glows orange and blue, reflected in puddles like fragments of another world. At 9:10, she's captured again, standing at a crosswalk near the old railway bridge. She pauses, looks down at her camera screen, adjusts the focus, then disappears from view. A pub worker later recalls seeing her talking to a man in a long black coat. He says she looked uncomfortable, like she wanted to leave but couldn't. He remembers the man's voice, calm, rehearsed, and then, just as quickly, they walked away into the fog. By 10:08 p.m., Emma's camera took its final picture: a streetlight, a wall of fog, and a single shadow stretching toward her lens. The next morning, a jogger found her camera wedged between the river rocks. The strap was torn, the memory card intact. No sign of Emma. Detective Michael Ward, a veteran of cold, quiet crimes, was assigned to lead the case. He later described the scene as a riddle written in fog. No wallet, no phone, no body, just a camera. And that haunting photograph: light, shadow, silence. For weeks, officers combed the riverbanks, searched abandoned warehouses, and interviewed anyone who might have seen her. One bartender said she saw Emma meet a man at the canal steps around 9:30 that night. Another witness, a street cleaner, claimed he heard a woman shouting "no," but the fog was too thick to see where it came from. Every clue pointed to one name: David Roth, the owner of Urban Vision Agency. He admitted to meeting Emma that night for a photo collaboration, but he insisted she left smiling and safe. Still, GPS logs from his car showed he drove past the Thames minutes later. When detectives searched his office, they found hidden cameras embedded in mirrors and light fixtures. The hard drives had been wiped clean. Roth called them security devices. Ward called them what they were: control. Without a body, the investigation lost momentum. Emma's case was moved to the Cold Files Department and labeled Unsolved, presumed dead. But Detective Ward never stopped. He visited her parents every year, hoping to offer closure. And each time they asked the same question: "Do you think she knew who did it?" He always answered softly, "Yes." In 2005, someone emailed the police claiming Emma was alive in Paris, using a new name, selling photographs. The lead fell apart. The prints were proven fakes. In 2008, a diver reported finding a piece of fabric under a bridge near Kew Gardens, matching the color of Emma's jacket. It wasn't hers. The city had moved on, but the fog never forgot. 2012. 10 years later, the Metropolitan Police launched a new forensic program. Emma's camera was retested using DNA recovery techniques that hadn't existed a decade earlier. When technicians examined the corroded battery door, they found traces of skin cells embedded under the latch. The DNA matched one person, David Roth. But Roth was dead. He'd changed his name, moved to Scotland, and taken his own life in 2011. Inside his cottage, detectives found a photo pinned to his wall. Emma's final shot, enlarged, printed in black and white. Underneath it, "She took the photo, but I live inside it." Inside his cottage, detectives enhanced the image with new software. The shadow's outline, broad shoulders, slightly turned head, matched Roth's build perfectly. Emma had unknowingly photographed her killer moments before she died. Detective Ward closed the file at last. He later said, "When I look at that picture, it feels like she's still trying to tell us something." Psychologists described Roth as a textbook narcissist, a man obsessed with control, who mistook admiration for ownership. When Emma confronted him about the hidden cameras, he must have followed her that night, waited in the shadows, and silenced the only person who ever saw through him. Her body was never found. The tides of the Thames keep their secrets. But her photograph, that haunting golden streetlight, remains. It now hangs in the London Police Museum, titled Unknown Shadow, 2002. Visitors often say the light in the photo flickers faintly, as if someone were still standing there, breathing just behind the glass. Emma once wrote in her diary, "A photo isn't what you see, it's what refuses to disappear." And maybe, in that sense, she never really did. London still carries her story like mist curling over the riverbanks. A girl who vanished into the fog, a man who tried to erase her, and a photograph that refused to die. This was the last photo in the London fog, and perhaps, somewhere in that final frame, she's still watching, through the lens, through the mist, through time itself.